there getting that work in earlier today at practice. How are we feeling about it? We're a few weeks into this now, right? 2-3 weeks into this process of Bo Melton potentially becoming a cornerback. Emilio, I'll start with you, man. Do you think he's got a legit shot to make the roster, or do you think it's something that it's still he's kind of on the outside looking in right now? What do you think?
I think he's got a legit shot. On top of the fact that the wide receiver room, if they're staying injured, he's a flip flop kind of player. I think that his corner play, he maybe missed one tackle, maybe. But he was sticking his nose in there. He was playing well. Put himself in a lot of situations that he hadn't been in ever before. I think that's perfect. I'd like to see him play a good chunk against the Colts though, just to keep getting those reps. I think more reps are not going to hurt him at this point. He needs to kind of know what he's getting himself into. But I do think that he's got a shot.
The footwork is on point. That's the thing that sticks out to me the most about Bo. Is it just he naturally picked up the footwork early. Tim, you've been there, boots on the ground in camp. How do you feel about Bo, man? You think he's going to make this 53 as a corner?
I'm going to take it a step further than Emilio. Write it in pen or Sharpie. Ooh, Bo Melton is on the 53, guys. He is. I just think he is.
He's too valuable, isn't he?
He's too valuable, and you hear the way the coaches talk about him, the way his teammates talk about him, some of the intangibles. Work ethic is unmatched on the field. Other than maybe Bane Gary or somebody, Bo Melton is, he's a corner, guys. I don't think we need to scratch our heads anymore. I think what was really telling to me was the comment that he made. I believe it was one of the locker room interviews when he said that he kind of has an advantage, converting from receiver because when he lines up, especially in press, off the break, he's able to tell what that receiver is going to do based on the route tree, based on the formation. And so he can play that mental game, which allows him to, like you said, Clayton, get the footwork right, get the hands right, and play good defense. And, that's what I was looking for when I watched him on Saturday, and we saw it a little bit. There were times where Bo was just stride for stride with a receiver, and he never touched him because he knew the guy's not running a dig. He knew he was running a slant, or he knew just based on the body language. So I think that kind of experience and, that mindset combined with the fact that, he's putting in the work to kind of convert himself into a corner. I think all of those things are pointing to him making this 53. And, Emilio makes a great point too. In case of emergency break glass, we've got, wide receiver number 570 on this roster. So there's a lot of reasons to keep Bo around. And, we haven't even talked about what he brings, in value as a special teamer as well. So I think he makes this 53 hands down for sure.
All right, let's go to the chat, see what everybody's saying in there. Holmes MD1 says Melton is a lock. You could tell by how Halfley talked about him. Matt, too. Talking about special teams. Chris the Casualin says Bo missed some tackles, plural, Excelio. So Chris is a little concerned about the missed tackles there from Bo. Coach Lynn, Golden still reminds me of Jamar Chase, in my opinion. Too old for this. You can't give up on the potential Bo has shown. No way, Jose. Coach Lynn comes back and says Bo is on the squad for sure. So it seems like the large majority think Bo has put himself in a position to become a lock here.
He was the best guy around.
Let's see. They will make room for Bo if they have to, says Coach Lynn. Drew D says Melton is extremely quick going backwards. Numerous people around him made comments at practice about his backpedal quickness. I'll never forget, Drew, when we first seen him go through the cornerback drills that first day. Yeah. And I you guys remember I took the screen and I did it kind of like this where we could just see the feet, remember? And I'm like, who has the best footwork here? Call it out when you see it. Oh, yeah, that dude. Zoomed out, and it was Bo Melton. It's wild to think about how good his footwork is, seeing that he's never played corner, right? If I remember correctly.
Maybe in high school. Yeah, maybe in high school.
You can't tell me that he's not on FaceTime every day with Max talking about the cornerback play. I mean, the brothers are both corners now in the National Football League. They're going to pick each other's brains and learn from each other for sure.
Yeah. Ed Madden says Melton will make the 53. 2-0 for this. Says Bo's backpedal 40 times a 3.87. That's moving right there, son. All right, moving along. I'll tell you somebody else who just continues to flash in camp, and I could not be more excited about it. You know what I've noticed too? And this isn't a shot at anybody in our chat. I'm just talking about on X in general. All the people that were worried about Jordan Morgan, they got real quiet today after that game against the Jets. And that's what cracks me up is like, you're so passionate about a guy being a bust, and we haven't even seen him yet. Like he literally was banged up last year. Like
That's terrible.
Right out of camp, fighting an injury, right? So you're so willing to write him off. And then those same people, he has one good preseason game. So, oh, God, he's the superstar. I'm like, calm down. What are we doing here? But the guy I want to talk about is another one that caught a lot of hate, is Lucas Vaness. And he just continues every single practice. His name is mentioned over and over and over. Look at this series of tweets. You got to go from the bottom up here, okay? Ryan Wood, Lucas Vaness sacks Jordan Love in the first third down rep. Good power on an inside stunt. Continues a solid training camp. Next tweet. Defensive line dominating this third down period after Lucas Vaness sack. Colby Wooden reaches Jordan Love and Carl Brooks reaches Malik Willis. Next tweet. These are back to back to back. Lucas Vaness bullies Jordan Morgan on a bull rush to reach Jordan Love. Vaness second sack today. So Lucas Vaness, it sounds like he's starting to really turn the corner. And maybe all he needed, Emilio, was just extra reps. Like Preston Smith, the epitome of a progress stopper at that point in his career, right? That's why Vaness couldn't get on the field. We have Preston. You trade Preston away, second half of the season comes, Lucas Vaness is flirting 15% pressure rate, right?
Yep.
Sounds like he's about to break out. It's what it sounds like, boys.
Right. That getting past that thumb injury, being able to use your hands, being able to play those hand games and get into your. Thank you, because I'm telling you, without that, I mean, I busted my thumb the other day. It's like I feel like I can't grip anything. I feel like I have no structure, nothing like that. Him being able to actually use both hands, get upfield, I think adding to his bull rush, repertoire. I know that he's got that strength for it. I think, another year and another offseason, all that being able to add to his game. I think LVN's going to have a big year this year. I think we need him to have a big year, or else, our front four is going to be having some issues. We're going to need to kind of, generate some pressure if we can't get it with the four.
Yeah. Anything you want to add here to the LVN talk?
Yeah,
Tim?
I'm with Chuck Jaggers, man. About to break out like a 13-year-old eating pizza and drinking soda. Let's go.
That sounds good, man.
I love it. No, LVN clearly showed up to camp in great shape, too, by the way. I don't know if anyone else noticed that. Hercules looks like he put on another 10 pounds of muscle.
He does.
And he's fully engaged, too. And, I've seen it multiple times. We know that, Coach Covington is kind of taking Rashawn under his wing a little bit, taking him off to the side, doing some one-on-one stuff. But, he's also done that with LVN. He's also done that with Kingsley and Igbare I've seen as well. So all these guys are poised to make a step, and I think LVN needs it. When you look at this defense, there's a handful of players that 2025 is kind of a make or break season. When you put it all down on paper and see what your future is looking like. So if LVN makes the progress that we all know he's capable of, I think he'll be here for the long haul for sure.
Yeah. I like what 2-0 for this says too. I'm trying hard not to fall for LVN hot, but he's just ripping everyone to shreds. And it's funny too, because when he was dominating Jordan Morgan in practice last week, it was, well, Jordan Morgan's not playing right. And then he goes out there against the Jets. He looked pretty good, albeit I think it was 9 snaps, right? And then comes right back. Jordan Morgan looked good at left tackle against the Jets. And now we're right back to camp practice, and LVN is just beating Morgan like a drum again. Now, here's the thing. Yes, it's awesome to see LVN playing well, but think of how this is helping Morgan too. If LVN did put on that 10 pounds, and Tim, when you said that, the first thing I thought of was his forearms.
Yeah.
That's the thing that sticks out the most to me. His forearms look absolutely huge this year. I don't know what you do to, I don't know how that
His
helps.
forearms look like my thighs. Yes.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
He looks like a grown-ass man out there is what he looks like. So,
right.
Yeah, I understand 2-0 for this. I'm trying to curb the hype too, but boy, oh boy, is it looking like he's ready to take another step for sure. So, and we're not the only ones noticing it either. Ryan Wood tweeted this out. Packers defensive line coach DeMarcus Covington on Lucas Vaness, quote, "I think Lucas can do whatever he wants to do. He can be as good as he wants to be. He's strong. He's physical. He sets the edge. He can rush the passer." That's the thing too, Emilio, that sticks out with me. He played the run really damn well last year. And that's the thing. when people try to make this defensive line sound like they're bad, like they try to make this, they put on this whole facade like, oh, the defensive line was bad last year. They were really bad, right? You can't have the number 2 rush defense in the league and have a bad defensive line. That is impossible. We understand that, right? Somebody, if Kenny sucked and Gary sucked and LVN sucked, how did we finish so well against the run and still finish 8th or 9th in sacks? Like, how does that happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Built to ass.
That's how it happens.
That's it. They need that, Tim, because the D line. I mean, you can't be selfish there when you're trying to beat that run defense, that wall up front. You cannot be, trying to think that, I'm going to try to peel off here and just go after the quarterback when that's your responsibility. You got to cover your gap. You got to cover, ABC, whatever. You wide 9, are you coming across? Are you stunting? And for LVN to step up, take the edge, holds the edge well. I think that he's physical at that point of attack. I can't ask for anything more, right? Let's see some more pass rush production, but you sometimes have a speed rusher, sometimes you have a power rusher, sometimes you have them opposite sides. You don't maybe you only have one DN going at a time. Maybe you want the other side set. Maybe he's on the wide side. There's just so many things I think that he can add to the defense here.
We talked about LVN possibly kicking inside, a little bit this year. And it's like you look at Coach Covington's comment here. Yep. He's strong, he's physical, right? So there's your excuse to kick him to the inside. And then he sets the edge and can rush the passer. There's your reason to keep him in a wide 9 or, a 7 or something and send him off the edge. So I think, when we drafted him, we talked about his versatility, and you have to be versatile to play in this game. It's right here in Coach Covington's statement, man. They can put him anywhere on that line. Probably everything but a 0, right?
Yeah. And here's what I would like to see too, man. I would like to see them, imagine your nickel 4-2-5, right? And LVM would typically line up in a 7 or a 9 tech. I would like to see them take him and put him at what we call joker, right? Put him in the A gap when they do that double A mug. Imagine them putting him in the A gap and putting Edgerrin Cooper in a wide 9. And then all of a sudden, you dropping Edgerrin Cooper out, who's got the versatility to cover the seam in a Tampa 2 from a wide 9. Imagine him flowing out, and LVN's just, I'm talking about running right into the center's face in the middle. How cool would that be? And that there's just some of the things I think they could really unlock with him if they truly wanted to. He's got that athletic ability.
And he can be out there for the NASCAR package, but still be physical enough to play that sort of inside, right?
Yeah. That's the thing with him. Once he gets those legs going, you know what I mean? Like he's quick off the snap, but once he gets a couple strides, he's explosive, man. He really is.
Yeah. Tony Holman says LVN just needs a little mean streak. I agree, Tony, but also we seen that mean streak with Quay Walker his rookie year, and everybody was ready to run him out of town, right? It's got to be controlled. Now, what I noticed with LVN, I believe it was his rookie year. I remember him running over to the pile one time. I think it was against the Bears in Chicago. This was after he sacked Justin Fields. You guys remember that? Justin Fields rolled right, and he just ran his ass down like it wasn't nothing.
Yeah.
We talked about Justin Fields taking the corner the other night for the Jets, right? And how it's like you can't really blame Keyshawn like that. Not many people are going to be able to do that. I remember LVN running Justin Fields down like it was nothing on the edge, right? Now, I also remember him pulling people off the pile. I think he does have just enough mean streak. He's got the mean streak that's kind of on that. And listen, I'm not saying he's going to be this level of a player, okay? I'm just talking about personality-wise. TJ Watt plays fire on fire, but I wouldn't consider him one of these guys that's got a mean streak. You know what I mean?
I would call it more of a chip on the shoulder, right?
Yes.
Yeah, a little edge to you. Yeah.
And you know what might be holding LVN back a little bit in the past from showcasing that mean streak or that little bit of an edge to him, right, on that borderline right where you want it to be. When you're not getting the snaps, it's hard for you to go out there and beat your chest like you Tarzan, and obviously the depth chart says you Jane. You know, you can't. You go out there like that, I don't know, man. I think now that he's the starter, you may see him start to kind of come out of his shell a little bit. I could see that a lot. So, and we know he's in shape. We know it's not going to be one of those things where he's going to be tapping the helmet like, hey, I need a breather. That dude is just – he's ready for it, man. Ready for it. Yeah. Too over this. As Ryan Schlip says, LVN needs a neck tattoo. I remember when we drafted LVN, Ryan made a comment and said, he's too pretty. You know, he just looks like a pretty boy. He's got the, you know, he went on this. So what I did was took Sloth from the Goonies and photoshopped him on LVN's body. said, here, now, is that help? We good now? Are we good now?
You do that, you're going to get your ass kicked. And then
Exactly right. So, I don't know, man. I think LVN's poised for a breakout year. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. Let's see what else we got in here in the chat. I was just wanting to see
Ed Madden. I do remember LVN using Will Levis for a doormat to recover.
We were
a
there
fumble.
for that one. I remember celebrating on that one.
He flushed LVN out of the pocket, right? And then so he beats his guy. Will Levis had to LVN flushed him out of the pocket. Will Levis had to step up and go to the right. And it's like Lucas Vaness beats his guy. He's out of the pocket. He looks up and he's still on his feet. He's like, "Oh, I'm just going to murder him," right? Got it. I'll never forget that shot. We could probably find the picture. I'll see if I can find it real quick.
For sure.
But keep hitting the chat there just a second on LVN or anything else y'all want to say on LVN. I'm going to see if I can find that picture because it is absolutely gorgeous.
AFAM says AFAM would make LVN his extra wife or what his extra waffles. Is that what that says?
Wives.
It's AFAM. You never know. I'm surprised he's not talking about the Chiefs right now.
Daryl here. He said, I've been watching LVN since he was a rookie. He's been adapting to the scheme. Lucas Campman. That's not a terrible comp, but I mean I think LVN's got a little bit more physicality than Mr. Campman. But I like where your head's at, Daryl. There, I like that.
I agree. She said Murph says great comp. Da. I agree. I can see it.
That's what I remember. KGB, man.
Oh man,
that was a good time.
Yeah, KGB, Aaron Campman. Those were the days for sure.
Aaron Campman was so much fun.
I think we can definitely have that again with we get Rashawn out there, we get LVN out there, get a little Enigbare. Oh,
there it is.
Look at the eyes. Look at the pain. And
what do you think he's saying to him right now?
He's probably saying, "Hey, you see that redneck up there in the 30th row? That too many Captain Morgans."
You know what he's saying, right? He's probably whispering
BTA. Know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what he's whispering. That's exactly right. Oh, I love that shot right there, man. It doesn't get any better. We're gonna hold on to that for a little bit, by the way. Every time he shows out, Tim will flash that up on the screen. All right?
I love it.
It'll give us more of a reason to not show this anymore. That's just
you do that, you're going to get your ass kicked. And then
y'all are going to get so tired of that drop. We're going to use the heck out of that one, I promise. Let's talk a little DB here. Now, listen, you can look at this just like we talk about with training camp. It could be a positive. It could be a negative. Obviously, it's a negative. Malik Willis tried to hit Will Shepherd over the middle. Corey Valentine deflects it, and Jonathan Baldwin picks it off the bounce. Now, listen, it's going to go down as an INT in camp for Baldwin, but Valentine, am I wrong here, guys? Does it kind of feel like Valentine's come on the scene and like he's going to make the best of this opportunity? Do we think there's any chance possible that Valentine makes this roster? In terms of injuries, assuming that Nate Hobbs is going to be good to go, everybody's going to be healthy, right? It might come down to like a Valentine, Kalen King, Bo Melton, right? And we just talked about Bo Melton probably making the roster, but if they decide to carry 6 breaking camp, you think there's a realistic chance Valentine can make the roster?
I do. I think that's why they brought him in, right? I mean, he's probably the contingency plan for Nate Hobbs, or at least for the depth that you would want. Because you're right. I mean, if let's say Nate Hobbs is not a go week 1, we know Kalen King can play a little slot, right? We've seen that before. But I think Corey Valentine kind of being the wily journeyman veteran, a guy who's kind of proven that, he can play well as a Packer, serviceable guy. I think there's a legit chance he can make the team, but it's going to depend on, how well Bo Melton closes this camp out, right?
Yeah. 2-0 for this says, who's making Willis? Obviously.
You talking about Willis?
Ryan Woods said, making Willis tries to hit Will Shepherd. Obviously, he meant Malik Willis. Come on, 2-0. What's wrong? So, anyway, Amelia, you got anything on this? Do you think Valentine's on the outside looking in? I know this. If Valentine ends up being one of our practice squad corners, I feel really good about that.
That's where I was going with it. I think that he's a absolute perfect practice. Having him on the practice squad as a backup corner makes me feel better because, hey, if, it's him, Kamal Haddon, you get an injury, somebody's got to come up. Kalen King, we don't know where everybody's going to land. I think just knowing what you have in here, and he's been here before, he knows kind of what we're asking, what we're looking to do. I think that's perfect.
Yeah. All right. So there you go. Again, Corey Valentine with the interception, or I'm sorry, the deflection, and then obviously Jonathan Baldwin picking it off.
And I like Malik trying to push the push the envelope there. Let's try to fit one into this window. Can I in a game? Okay, no, I can't. Good to know.
Right. And this is the time that you do. I remember every single training camp, people going, "Oh, is Aaron Rodgers struggling because he's throwing so many interceptions in camp?" This is the time you do that, Tim. This is the time you take those shots, right?
Absolutely. And it doesn't matter who you are, best quarterback in the league to a, first year starter, rookie, whatever. You want to see if you can do it in practice so you can do it in the game, right? We talk about it all the time. Perfect it in practice, execute it in the game. How do you know if you can thread the needle? Can you zip one past the ear hole of that DB and get it to your receiver? Well, you want to try that now. You don't want to be trying that with, 13 seconds left on a half closing out 2-minute drill or something like that. So I don't want to overreact. I don't think any of us should overreact. If you start seeing things like that, though, as you get into the season, then you've got legitimate concerns. But now's the time. And keep in mind, right, everything's vanilla right now for the most part. I'm sure as we progress, we might see a little bit of, different game plans as far as, offensively, defensively. But, right now it's just get the wheels turning, figure out what your thresholds are, and kind of, you want to test those boundaries now. It's a great point. I mean, Malik Willis to Aaron Rodgers to Pat Mahomes and everyone in between, it doesn't matter. You're going to make mistakes now, and hopefully you don't make them in the season, right?
Yeah. Ed Madden says Valentine plays a lot of special teams too. That's another great point, right? Special team value. Christian Welch, man. I want to see him the rest of the preseason, but if he continues to play like that on special teams and he doesn't make this roster again, I'm just going to throw my hands up. I don't know.
Christian Welch, Iola.
And there's something about, like, he just plays better in Green Bay. You know what I mean? Wherever he went, obviously he didn't stick, but it just seems like every preseason. Of course, I think Chewy and some of the other people said they called that the all Onada team. The guys that were really, really good in training camp, but they never really could put it together in a game. But Welch is just doing everything he can, right? Yes, Drew D says, wasn't Welch good for us last preseason? He was, Drew. I remember when that last preseason game wrapped up, I think he got an interception in that game too. He balled out in camp practice, played well in all the preseason games. It was like, I remember telling you guys, if he doesn't make this roster, this is a damn conspiracy. And he didn't make the roster, and I just shut up about it. So it's funny how that works, right? But yeah, he did. He played really, really well, man. Ryan Wood tweeted out Malik Willis, not Macon Willis, with his second pick today, miscommunication downfield, and Willis throws directly to safety Katan Oladapo. I'm glad Oladapo caught it, right? But obviously this is one of those things you can't really look at it like, wow, KT made a great play.
I wish I knew who the receiver was. Miscommunication downfield, that's a busted route.
Yeah,
right?
That would be nice to know who it was, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So again, how do y'all feel about Oladapo? I want to get your all's take on it because I personally didn't feel like he played well. It was just one preseason game. But is you guys hitting the panic button a little bit on Oladapo, or do y'all think he's going to be fine?
I think he's going to be fine. I think it's just how doers get more done. I think we need to keep our head down and he missed the punch out on the deep ball. That they completed it over his shoulder, fine. But he's consistent, dude. Every time I see him out there, he's always trying to redirect people, always putting people in the right spot, always moving this guy around. Hey, you're on this flat. You're cover 3 over here. You need to get over here when they go motion. I think head-wise he is there. I think he knows what's going on. I just want to see more reps for him.
I agree. I think with Zane Anderson being banged up too, this is an opportunity, for KT to kind of shine, and he's got a couple weeks left, right? I'm not ready to push the panic button just yet at all. I think there's a lot to like about him. We talked about Omar Brown. I don't think, as exciting as it is to watch him, kind of one of our favorite UDFAs, at least me and Jacob kind of had eyes on him, but I don't see him passing up KT Oladapo anytime soon. So we'll see how things pan out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good deal. Let's see what else we got in here real quick before we get ready to wrap up. Obviously, we hit everything on the defense. So what we had